what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. So I'm actually going to go out of order today. If you've been following my channel, you would know I have a flow to the kind of videos that I post on a weekly basis. Based on that schedule, today would have been a mental growth video, but I actually want to take this time to talk about what Stay Fit and Active is all about. At the time of this video, August 2024, I'm up to almost 100 subscribers. So for me, that's cool. So trucking along, I hope I get to 100 before the end of the year. So please share and subscribe if you haven't to the channel. I really love that. But in lieu of that, I have some old followers, I have some new followers, and then I would have some future followers. So I wanted to give everyone an opportunity to understand what Stay Fit and Active is all about. So that's what we're going to do in this video. Let's get into it. Stay Fit and Active. So what is that all about? Well, let me back it up a little bit. So I went to school and I got my degree in biochemistry. So yeah, that makes me, kind of a nerd. Anyone that's taken that degree, you know, we're some nerds, right? So that comes in handy for the things I like to do in life. But from that, I immediately got my first job into pharmaceuticals. So doing drug development and things like that. And that was all good and dandy, good time, good money, good lifestyle. However, spending time doing that kind of stuff, I realized that I wanted to be more on the preventative side of that industry. So we all know big pharma makes the big bucks from you making poor choices with your life. And so I wanted to backtrack a little bit and see, well, how can I help people not even need to take these drugs, right? And there are things like capitalism, poor populations, racism, all these things that are putting weight on people's ankles that's preventing them from getting ahead, that is governmentally established and has been built for centuries, right? So there's not much we can do about that. While there is, it's very slow, right? What I mean by that is not literally in the hands of one person. That's going to take a unit. So from that, I decided, well, what can we do as a unit with the cards that we have been dealt to still live a happy, healthy life? And that's what I wanted to focus on. And spending time actually talking to people, spending time with people, training people, all these things, developing these relationships and figuring out what it is that is actually causing people to have hindrance in their ability to progress to whatever goal they want. There are categories that I realized were in common. And those are the categories that created Stay Fit and Active. So Stay Fit speaks for itself. That's the physical journey to it. But the inactive is you being an active participant in your life. We're in this stage that we always have been, where you can't really just place the fate of your life in someone else's hands or just sit and wait for things to happen. Like, you have to get up and decide you want this for yourself. It actually brings me to a good point. My next video, since I didn't do a mental growth video now, my next video is going to be about that, wanting more for yourself. But let's put a pin in that for later. But yeah, so you have to do the work. So that's what the inactive part is about in Stay Fit and Active. And also, side note, excuse me, this is not like I didn't structure or plan this video. This is me just like being spontaneous and just talking about something I want to talk about. So this might be a little slightly all over the place. Back on topic. So with that being said, I took some time to figure out what those categories are going to be, right? First is obviously our physical health. So I wanted to address that, kind of giving people information on how to work out, how to build muscle, how to lose body fat, how to just build this general health so that they feel good in their body. The second is mental. So I realized that a lot of people, it's not that they don't want stuff for themselves, or they don't have the resources or the tools, because you could give someone all the tools out there, and if they just don't desire it, or they're stuck in this mentality, they're not going to use them, right? So another thing I realized was getting people mentally motivated, building that mental strength, understanding that like we have to change our mindset and the way that we think to even take a step forward. So you'll find on this channel that we also talk about how to do that, mental things. And I'll combine that with spiritual as well, because mental is our physical plane and the things we're experiencing in our 3D body. But then there's also things that are beyond our scope, right? So it's like how we feel on a spiritual level, how we're connecting with others on a spiritual level, how we're connecting to ourselves on a spiritual level. So I'll combine those together with mental and spiritual. And then there's financial. So sometimes you literally just can't afford it. You can't afford the food that you want to eat. You can't afford the classes you want to take. You can't afford to just go out and experience life and have a good time and give yourself those dopamine boosts. And sometimes, like I said, it could be those pound weights that are strapped to your ankle that prevent you from getting ahead in life. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. Capitalism, all that stuff. But a lot of times people actually do make enough money to do the things they want to do. They just don't have proper spending habits, or they don't understand how to make their money work from them. And on top of that, being stressed about money is not good for our health. So you see how this is a cycle. So I also wanted to provide information to help people boost their financial life, because when you can feel secure enough, because that's the thing, when you can feel secure enough in your everyday life, people are in survival mode so much where they literally have no capacity to do anything else. Every day you're just grinding, trying to figure out how you're going to get your next meal. You don't have time to be thinking about you in 5 to 10 years. You don't have time to be thinking about what you're going to what foods you should be eating. You're going to figure out, how can I just eat something, right? So operating out of a place of survival hinders us a lot. Then we have this extra stress. Your body's holding on to stress, which converts to you hold on to body fat. Now you're bigger. So now you're stressed about your health. Now you're stressed about your money. You see what I'm saying? So they're all connected. So it's about getting us into a good financial space where we feel secure, that we can empty our minds a little bit and then focus on building ourselves up in other ways. So if your mental is not good, your physical might not be good. If your spiritual health isn't good, your physical might not be good. If your physical is not good, your mental and spiritual might not be good. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt that all of these were interconnected. So I sat down and I thought, well, if I could just help people in those categories of life, their entire quality of life would be better. Ergo, they wouldn't be in the doctor's office all the time. They wouldn't be stressed all the time. They wouldn't be contracting all these diseases, and they could just be living a happy, healthy life and have some longevity. So that is what the scope of Stay Fit and Active about. That's what the umbrella is. It's teaching you about your body, it's teaching you about your mind, it's teaching you about your spirit, and it's teaching you about good financial habits. Okay. How I do that is through free videos on YouTube. So I have, playlists on here that you can check out where I'm talking about all of these categories in a cycle. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. So I have all these platforms where whichever you prefer, you can find me on and also receive that information. I also provide resources like my blog and my newsletter where I might elaborate on a topic. I might throw in some free resources, maybe like something you can download, a class you can take, something like that. We do free workouts on here as well. And then we also have program workouts. So I have all these things that I'm putting out into the world because I really want people to just live a good life. I don't want us all to be under the thumb of this umbrella where half of the population is living a very crappy life and the other half of the population is just living great. I want us all to experience what it's like to live a happy and healthy and good life. And it doesn't even have to be extravagant things. It's just having our basic necessities and information together. And I can go on a long rant about that, but that's basically how I do that. And it's very important to me to build community. So in my comment sections on all those platforms, on my Instagram stories where, I might ask a poll question or ask something or, get people involved. Like, it's important to me to build community, whether that's through Discord, whether that's, through the blogs, maybe you comment on those, whether that's through my newsletters. I might throw in a survey to get people's feedback. So all these things where I actually want to build a community with you and also have a place where you can build community with each other, because maybe someone leaves a comment or asks a question about something and you're like, hey, I know about that, or I had that same question. Now you're talking to this person and bam, you just made a new friend. You live in LA, they live in New York, but now you have the best of buds, So it's important to me to build that community as well, because I also think that's an important aspect and part of our growth and our ability to thrive here on earth as human beings is having a network, whether you're asocial, antisocial, social butterfly, whatever. We have levels of connection that I believe that we all need. So I want to provide a space and a platform for that as well. So I also do work a job, so I don't get to do as much in this as I would like to, but I do at least try to remain consistent with posting these free YouTube videos and posting on my other pages as often as I can, as well as trying to create those programs, because it's a lot of work, but it's fine. We're not going to talk about that right now either. So yeah, I think that's the basis of what Stay Fit and Active is all about, what I'm all about, what I'm trying to achieve here. My mission on earth, so to speak, is this is where my passion lies. So if you have any questions or anything you want to know, please comment. I would love that. And that's what I'll leave you with. Thank you for watching this video. I hope now that you know a little bit more about what this channel is about, that you'll subscribe and engage and look forward to other videos that I might put out. Like I said, I did get my degree in biochemistry. I, of course, have my, I'm not going to say of course, but I am specialized in and my personal training and nutrition. I'm not a dietitian by any means or a nutritionist, so I'm not allowed to actually, write workout plans, but I've read enough books and done enough coursework to be able to provide at least information on it. And same with financial, like I'm not a CPA by any means, but I read the books that you don't want to read. Those are the books that I read, and I take that information and try to translate it into layman terms so that I can spread it on this channel. So again, I can't really sit down and give you a financial plan, but I can put information out here that I'm learning from things that I'm reading and things that I'm talking to with people. And the reason I think that's important, this is the last thing I'll say before I conclude this video, because, for example, when I got my personal training certification, it's just, it's a book you read, right? But the book is just very these are the basic umbrella of things, right? The things that I have learned and the things that I have learned, the ways I've connected to people, the information I have put on this channel did not come from that book I read that took me all of 2 days, 3 days to read. It came from people, talking to people, experiencing people, hearing what their problems are, taking those problems and then going and finding books, finding research articles, finding things that I can put together to bring back to this person. So a lot of the things that I have learned is from self-knowledge. And I just think that's more, I'm not going to say more important, because by all means, going through a course and getting the information and getting that certification or that degree that says I'm qualified in this is very important to make sure that, this person knows what they're talking about. So I definitely understand that. But a lot of the people, even in professional fields, get the experience from being in the field, not from things they learn in books. So I just feel like from all the things that I have learned in books and the way that I've converted that to actual real people and found ways to help those people. And then if that works for that person, when someone else comes along that is experiencing a similar problem, I can say, hey, this one client I had 6 months ago that was having the same issue, this worked for her. Let's see if that works for you. I give them that same plan. It does work for them. You get what I'm saying? So I just feel like from that's how I'm able to put this information out there and share things with you. So like I said, for legal purposes and things like that, I will never sit down and try to give someone something that's outside of my scope of practice because I'm not specialized or I haven't received the proper certificates and things like that to be able to do that. The information I give is simply advice from things I have learned, and I always make sure I repeat that in my videos because that's important. But yeah, that's the end of that. So I'm KT. Thank you for listening to this and feeling my passion through the lens of my camera onto your phone, tablet, iPad, computer, whatever you're watching this on. If you did enjoy this video, please, you know what to do. Give me a thumbs up, and I will catch you in my next video. As always, don't forget to crush it.